Okay, this is video 4 in which we are going to create ID points, and then we're going to either export the ID points to a Word document, or you can use your phone to take a photo of all the ID points that you create. The first thing we need to do is set the point style, and that will be under the menu bar format. Now, if you haven't got this menu bar at the top here, you can turn that on. Where are we? So yeah, because I've got mine showing, it says to me hide menu bar. But if you haven't got it showing, you'll have this view, and you can select this downward arrow, and you would show menu bar. Okay, so basically under format you've got point style, and some drawing files or some CAD setups, the point style will literally be a dot, which is really hard to see on your drawing. So you want to change that to either a cross or a cross with a circle or something like that. I usually use a cross, and my point size I usually have 5% and set size relative to screen, because then it shows on the screen, and when you zoom out, the actual point itself becomes bigger if you refresh the screen, and I'll show you how to do that in a minute. So that's our point style. At the moment we're set, our current layer is centerline, but I'm going to create, or I'm going to use the point layer. So you can, if you haven't got that layer set up, you just would go into the layer properties manager as I showed you earlier, and you can create a new layer by right clicking on any of these layers here. I normally use a layer that I've created already because I know that the properties of that will be similar, and then you would create the point layer. Now I'm going to set point as my current layer, which is done by right clicking on the actual point layer and set current. You can tell when a layer is current because it's got a green tick to the left of the layer name. So basically I can see that up top here point is the current layer, and it's also drawn as a by layer object color, which is exactly what I want. So the next step is to create the points, and the easiest way of doing that is by using the multiple command. And so on the keyboard, start typing multiple. If you type MU, then basically you'll find that multiple comes up at the top as an option. Select that, and we want point, so type point, P-O-I-N-T. That doesn't come up as an option, so you have to type the entire word. So we started to create our point. So it's saying down at the command prompt, specify a point. Now it's at this point that we need to make sure that our object snaps are set correctly, which I showed you earlier. So we want our end point and our midpoint object snaps set, because we're going to create points on the end points and some of the midpoints of these lines on our center line of our dig. So I'm going to start top left, and you can see when I click on that endpoint that I get our cross on the correct layer, which is the point layer, and I'm going to create a midpoint of that. Now, when you first saw that, it came up as a perpendicular, but I want to make sure it comes up as an endpoint. So I might have to zoom in a bit. Yeah, so that's our endpoint. Sometimes it doesn't always show. Now you'll notice that my points are different sizes. That's because I zoomed in on that corner earlier and created the point when I was zoomed in. And when you zoom in and out of the actual drawing, it creates the points at different sizes relative to the screen, which is why you do the 5% relative to screen when you select your points. I'm going to go endpoint, I'm going to go midpoint. I'm going to zoom in on that corner because it was a bit confusing. So that was my endpoint there, and down here I had this plate, so I want to zoom in right to the corner of that to make sure that that's in the right place. So I should now have all of the points that I need done, so I can just hit escape out of that. That then stops the multiple command, and yeah, you'll notice that my points are different sizes, but the easiest way of changing that is to type RE for regen and then select regen as an option with your left mouse click, and then they will become, all the points become the same size, and it cleans the drawing up. You can regenerate the drawing at any time if you're unsure of whether you've actually done something correctly, and regenerating the drawing usually cleans it up and shows it as it should be. Quite often if you've got a drawing with curves in it or circles, when you zoom in on a drawing with circles, it shows them as almost like a hexagon with sort of sharp edges or cornered edges, and regenerating that will create it as a circle again. It's just to speed up Autocad because it doesn't need to show it as a circle all the time. So we've created our points, and now we need to either take a photo of those points or export those to a Word document. And we need, for that purpose, we need to use the multiple command again. So type mu, comes up with multiple, and we're going to type ID, which is our sort of, we're interrogating our points by using ID. So then specify point, I'm going to select, so remember we set up node as an object snap earlier, and this is where it comes in handy because we can select node for that one, that one, that one, that one, that one, that one. Now I'm going to go round in a sort of clockwise direction on our points, and it might be a good idea to do something similar, because then you remember which order you've gone round the drawing in and you won't miss anything. So I've gone round this, I've gone round the sort of the two sections in a clockwise way. So I've gone round this one and then I've gone round the next one, so I'm absolutely sure that I haven't missed anything. So that's all the points we need to ID, so I'm going to escape out of that. And then you need to hit F2 on the keyboard. Now on your laptops you probably need to hold down the function key and F2 to get to this screen. I've got a wireless keyboard, so I'm just going to hit F2, and it comes up with the last 10 commands that you've put in. So what's important on this to remember is that don't do too many points at once, because if you do more than 10 you will only get the last 10. So split your sort of multiple ID interrogation up into sections, and then you so for our plot 1 we've got less than 10, I think, so we've got 6, 7, 8. Yeah, so I've actually gone over already, haven't I, because we've got 6, 12, I think, so I'm missing some, which isn't very clever. So yeah, try and remember to literally go in numbers of 10, otherwise you'll miss some. I think I'm showing 1, 2, 3, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, so I'm showing 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, so it's not showing all of my points, which is important to remember to basically show or to export the last 10 of your commands so that you're not missing one. In fact, cancel comes up as a command, so it only really shows you the last 9, so be aware of that, and that's why you'll be missing some if you don't just do it in small sections, if you like. So it might be worth just doing 6 there and then the next 6 for the next sort of section down. So at this point you can take a photo of that on that's shown on your screen, or you can literally select that and Control C, which is copy, open up Word, and Control V will paste it in, and you can create a header. So I'm going to say plot 1, last 9 points. Now ordinarily I'd probably go back into my drawing and start from scratch and just do the first 6 and then the next 6, because then I know I'm not missing any. But for this purpose, this is purely just a video tutorial, so I won't bother with that. So yeah, create that, file and save as wherever you like, and that will then hold those points in its memory. Whereas if you're using AutoCAD, you'll actually see that it only holds the last 10 commands. So if I show line, and I'm going to go through and create a line and then hit F2 again, you'll see that I've only got a few of those IDs left that I've interrogated, and then it goes on to line and other information. So definitely when you've interrogated your line by using multiple ID, go straight into F2 and photo them or output them to Word, otherwise you'll lose that information because it's not actually held anywhere. It's just showing you your last commands. So that is how to create multiple points, and then how to extrapolate those points by using multiple ID.